All right, welcome to the Decklist stream for GPN. And here I have, introduce yourself.
Leo. Leo, Deadcats, either way. Yeah,
Yeah,
glad to be here with you.
like it's
Look
just
forward
two
to it.
of us for now. But we're going to look through our decks. We don't have any experts with us right now, any format experts with us. Although I did win 4 GPs, including 3 in a row. So
Too
maybe
many.
I am sort of an expert, but well, we'll just have to see. So first deck up, right? The Styles Rolls from the Dead.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this one. I've been chatting with Styles about each of our lists. He sent me it a little while ago, and it looks really sweet. I think it's a pretty fun take on Thunder Road's control. Yeah, I'm optimistic. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Wouldn't say it's like particularly spicy. It's got some interesting stuff in it.
It's got a Johnny Enlightened, which people are a lot higher on now that they've seen what it can do in the Beauty Pools decks, right?
Oh yeah, no, like that deck definitely gave me a heartache last time I played GP. This is a little while ago. That protection from mana values is pretty great when you're trying to just kind of really push some incremental value. I think it's a really powerful walker that I'm a little bit surprised took so long to really catch on.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's because
Yeah, I think it's not the
it doesn't look that powerful, but it really is that powerful because the +1 ramps you, and it's hard to kill.
yeah. It's ramp, and then that 0 is either just card advantage or just divination.
It's card
Like
advantage
I
or
think
card
that's
advantage.
yeah, advantager. Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of a Johnny Enlightened. I think it's pretty sweet. I think it fits in a lot of different deck styles.
Including
It's just
styles.
a pretty it just works nice.
Also, I see Pale Blade, which is kind of unique, I guess.
Yeah, that was one that like also caught my eye.
I mean, it's probably really good against aggro. Like, imagine
Yeah.
playing this against Burn. You kill their thing.
Yeah, just being able to. Oh my god, dude! Just 2 damage, kill their threat, and then make a treasure. That's like it's basically a free spell. I like it. I think it's a bit of a hedge to have 3 in the main.
Yeah, and I don't think it's going to pay off for them because, well, I guess I haven't really analyzed them out that.
I mean, there's a few aggro decks in the in here, but I'm not super sold on hedging that hard.
They also got 3 fires in the sideboard in case they're that worried about creature spam.
Yeah, it looks like they are very scared of that.
I mean, I can see why. It's because if they fall behind on board, they're not even that bad if they fall behind on board, right?
Oh no, they've got Unseasoned Flames.
Yeah.
That seems reasonable. I don't think that's I think they're a little bit hedged more than they needed to, but
yeah,
don't think it's a terrible idea.
I'm gonna give this guy, I don't know, 3 chili peppers because it's
that's where I was.
It's a Thunder Road stack.
Well.
I mean,
yeah, it's a Thunder Road stack. It's got some interesting stuff in it. It's got some blue-white staples. New blue-white staple of Johnny Enlightened, and then Petal Blade is a cute little thing you can do. That is a card that is legal in the format.
Yeah. Yep. And moving on, should probably Alex's what?
Yeah, it looks like Alex just ripped AJ Hayden's deck Amnesia.
Who's AJ Hayden?
I have no idea. Apparently, one of the folks in here. I've seen the name around.
I'll look them up right now. But
yeah, this seems like a pretty interesting deck. It looks like a take on Lantern Control.
How old is this deck? Because if it's a net deck,
interesting.
Because like,
I mean, I'm assuming it's a net deck because the name is Alex's AJ Hayden's Amnesia.
Because like AJ Hayden could be just a really old player that left eventually. Yeah. I don't know. They have some cards from a new set, so it's not completely. Or no, it's.
It's a mill deck.
Wait, it's that's a new card.
Wait, no, Gaze the Grave. Why are you only on 2 Gaze the Grave and Lantern Control?
Actually, no, you're on a bunch of 1-ups.
Is there a tutor in here?
Yeah. Wait.
I'm not seeing tutors.
No, there's no tutors. I think the tutor is playing Gaze of the Graves and milling yourself.
I guess. Yeah, but how are you getting the Gaze of the Graves? That's what I want to know. I mean, I guess
draw it.
Yeah, just always draw it, always have it. But yeah, this is interesting. I don't know how I feel about it. Also, only 8 cards in the sideboard.
Wait, Wait, how many cards do you have in the main deck? Because they might have missubmitted.
13, 14, 22, 33, 38, 60. There's 60 in the main. Only 8 cards in the sideboard.
Okay, then. I mean, this
Huh.
looks more like a draft deck than anything else, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, 8 swamps, 8 islands, 4 shores,
And a bunch of one-ups.
shoreline, and yeah, that's a lot of singletons. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I see some cute synergies in here, like Merchant of False Lives and Festering Waif is kind of cute, but also you're only playing one merchant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not too sold on this. Like, it's definitely spicy.
Well,
Like,
no,
this is
this is spicy in a bad way,
silly.
so I'm gonna give it a 1 chili pepper because I want to see it in action.
I just accidentally. Yeah, I mean, I'll give it a 2. I think it's interesting, but I mean, I don't really care to see it on camera. I'm not like hyped about it. Definitely looks like somebody tried something and then was like, it kind of did the thing, and called it good enough.
Yeah. So
And like, God, yeah, the one of the Singleton Veritress is weird because like the only thing that synergizes with the deck is the ultimate. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not.
It's a
sold on
draft
this.
deck that I think someone took a draft deck and then added some cards to it and then submitted it for a tournament. That's what I think is wait, no, it doesn't work
Yeah.
because it's from us. Someone took a
Yeah, it's from a bunch of different
draft set. Someone took a chaos
guess.
draft deck and then added a bunch of random cards to it and then submitted it.
I guess.
The only answer I can get. Yeah.
I mean, I gotta hand it to them. Almost every single card in the deck says mill.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
there's that level of synergy.
Okay. Moving on. We have
City Newland.
See the World. So it's that combo where you play See the World with Polyp Pools.
Yeah, it's the See the World combo.
I'm not sure what the entire combo is, but I know it starts with casting See the World with the Polyp Pools in play and ends with winning the game.
Yeah, so Polyp Pools, yeah, Changeling. Take an extra turn after this one during that extra may cast spells you own not named See the World from outside the game. Oh, okay, yeah, so See the World, you just infinitely cast two, so there's gotta be 2 different extra turn spells, right?
Yeah.
It's gotta be infinite turns somehow.
Are you sure it's infinite turns? Or do you just like win right away? Because you
well, what would be the rest of the combo?
So during your extra turn, you tap your Polyp Pools and then you cast one of your guys from the sideboard. I'm not sure which one it is exactly.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out what it is.
Valley Planar Researcher, -2, return, See the World. No, you have mana to cast it again. And it also exiles, so never mind.
Well, but you can't cast See the World again because you may cast spells you own not named See the World from outside the game.
Okay, so you tap Polyp Pools, you cast Fulfill Twisted Dreams.
Where's the oh, there it is. Untap all permanents. But that doesn't really do much. It's the rest of the combo.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but there's probably a line.
Something.
That wins.
There's probably something. Also, I don't understand the Profane Emissaries.
Oh, it's just because Profane Emissaries is really good.
Oh,
with Polyp
yeah,
Pools.
Polyp Pools. Yeah. I as soon as I said that, I saw it.
And I appreciate that they used the good art for Conjure Realities.
Yeah. It's a cute art. I like it. Yeah, this is kind of spicy. I mean, I think I'd want to see it on camera just because I don't know what the actual full combo is. I want to see it. 5 chili peppers. I was gonna go with 4, but yeah, let's give lots of peppers. Lots of peppers for CD.
Yeah, because we don't have enough people here, so I have to give more peppers to compensate.
It's true.
Like we're still waiting for our 3rd person to come online.
Yeah.
So moving on, Trumpex, No Thought, Turn Guys Sideways.
Yeah, so here's an aggro deck that if Styles runs into, they'll love to see it.
Well, they love to see it. They have
it's a lot of X1s and X2s.
Yes.
Oh, actually, there's a lot of X3s as well. Never mind. I lied.
Yeah. How do you beat Lone
So I'm gonna be real. I didn't realize Lodestone Golem was in this format. Holy shit.
Well, I mean, it's because it's not vintage, so we can't turbo it out.
So that's true. That's true. Yeah, it's fair Lodestone Golem. Yeah, that's reasonable. Yeah. Now that I'm like actually looking at what's in here, it's Hate Bear deck, which is kind of funny because it's supposed to be just dumb blind aggro. Which I mean, I guess it kind of gets to be because it's just nothing but things that hate out the opponent while they turn sideways.
Yeah.
This is interesting. I don't think it's
Hibernation is probably the most interesting card here because I haven't seen it played before.
Yeah.
It does technically fetch your Hate Bear.
It does. Huh.
It's also really good against control decks because they don't have any good creatures to fetch out.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, no, I can see this doing some work against some really scary. It can do some really scary stuff, I think. But
and then it's running Vengeful Sorrow in the sideboard for even more hate.
oh god, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Even though it only works if your opponent draws cards during your turn. So
Well, I mean, I'm running knockoff Brainstorm now, so that's gonna be awful.
oh yeah, it can trigger multiple times.
Yeah, it's gonna trigger 3 times, so I get to draw 3 cards and then never cast another spell.
And Corlette Mystic, because that's just a good card, I guess.
Yeah, that card is insane. Gosh, so good. Yeah, I think this is. I'll give this a 3 spice. I like
agree.
this.
Chili
This is
peppers.
fun.
3 chili peppers.
Yeah, that's a fun one. I like this. I think it'll be kind of cool. I mean, I'm not like stoked. I don't feel like I need to see it on camera. I can pretty much see how it goes. But pretty aggressive curve.
So moving on, Crush Castle's Echoed Mirror Plate. The Crush Castle has been talking about this. You play Legon to copy your spells, or make your spells copy creatures, and you play Mirror Plate to make your creatures copy spells.
Yeah, so it just builds an infinite board.
Does it?
Does it? Wait, hold on. Whenever player casts an one. Oh yeah. Yeah, no, okay. It doesn't work the way that I thought it would. But that's just insane value. That's some sweet value.
Is it? I mean, yeah, but look at the rest of the deck. What does it even do? Why are they playing Dead-Eye Drowners and Rogars? I guess these guys can shoot your opponent's creatures to get like Legon triggers.
Yeah, I think that's about all you really get to do.
No, the creatures don't even work with Legon because Legon requires spells exactly and not abilities.
Well, so I think so. Rogar ETBs, they're playing Glimmer.
Okay.
And so you make a copy of it, and then you just deal a bunch of damage. It's just value. So you get 3 triggers off of a single Glimmer when you have Mirror Plate and Legong. Or wait, hold on. How does this work? So the way that you stack the trigger. Wait, oh god, this is making my head hurt now.
In order to make the copy, and then you stack Mirror Plate.
Okay, Mirror Plate doesn't work the way that I think it was. It's not cast or copy. It's just cast a spell. So are you casting the copy or you?
Oh, no, you're just copying. So you have Legon and Mirror Plate in play, and another creature. You cast Glimmer on a creature. You first resolve Legon to make a copy of the creature, and then you resolve Mirror Plate to make Glimmer target all of your creatures. Does that trigger Legon again? It's another opponent becomes. Wait, does that work?
Oh god.
I don't know if it does, but if it does, then yeah, it goes infinite.
Yeah, I think it does. I think that's the combo here.
Okay, I see. Yeah, I see why they're running all these guys then.
Okay. Yeah. These are ways to keep the board clear while you do it, and then also just kill people with ETBs instead of having to bother with actually untapping and attacking.
So my main problem with the deck is that I feel like it's running way too many combo pieces. Like, do you really need to run Tear the Veil in addition to Scarlet Mist and Dawn of Ghost Mask and Glimmer? Right? Like Tear the Veil.
I don't think so. I think it's.
And also Asmon's Gambit. Why are you running a random white card in your deck?
Yeah, I don't think this needs to be. Well, okay. So I mean, it's already Jeskai, but it's a small splash for Mirror Plate.
Yeah, but like,
I mean, it's only 1 pip, so it's not like a huge deal. But still,
double white. Awkward. If you want to foretell it.
Oh yeah, and he's done. God, yeah,
does it even do anything?
1 planes. No, I don't think it's relevant. I don't think they're ever foretelling it.
But like, what does it actually do? Because one of the mode is putting a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Like
the other's just a fucking exile, and opponent gets to scry to. That doesn't seem good,
right? Yeah, I mean, I see the combo here, but I don't get the rest of the deck.
Like it's cute. It's definitely cute, but I don't think you needed to go this hard. I think you probably could have just slotted this into like a really cool like Jeskai tempo deck.
Mirror Plate's a bit.
Your curve's so low.
Mirror Plate's a bit non-tempo-y. Actually, Legon's also
but it's your combo piece. I mean, Legong. I mean, it's a 2-mana 2/1 with an annoying ward, but
I think what I would have done is at least
everything's 2 or 3 mana. This is
cut a bunch of the copy spells or blink spells, and then
you don't need this many copy spells.
Answers and card draw in those slots. Because this deck also has no card draw.
Like ways to actually find your combo pieces. I don't think you need 4 Deadeyes. I don't think you need 4 Rogars. Like having 4 Legongs and 4 Mirror Plates is fine because that's the core of your combo. But like, have some ways to like dig. But you currently have 4, 8, 12 flicker effects. That seems excessive.
I know.
I don't think Obscuriate's really necessary either. Like,
it's an answer.
It's an answer, but like you could play some things that are cheaper and more aggressively curved because your curve starts at 2 unless you're casting Scarlet Mist on your opponent's creature.
Can you even
you can't even do that. No, you can't. Yeah, this just I don't like the curve on this. I like the idea, but this just looks like a really clunky first build.
Yeah, but maybe that's all the time Crush Castle's had.
And that's fair. That's reasonable. Like,
yeah,
I definitely did mostly theory crafting on mine rather than actually getting to chess because I've been working full time again.
Yeah,
Anyways,
my first my first build was definitely first deck I ever made for MSEM was not good by any means. So
hi Neon. Oh, are you adding in
Hi.
chili peppers now?
yeah, I'm doing that now.
Okay.
So you might be asking why I gave a 3 to the Amnesia deck, and the answer is I like lantern control because I'm a sadistic person.
It's not even good macro control deck. Like half the time, it's not going to
It's
even
like
draw.
it's so weirdly bad. Like it's so incoherent.
Are we not doing rankings this time?
Oh, I mean, we could, but sure.
I mean, none of us here are
that can
format
actually
experts.
do rankings. If you want to do rankings, Neon, then you can.
Yeah,
I will give them totally real rankings that are not goofy.
Just tens across the board.
Sure.
Oops, all tens.
Anyways, where are we?
Hold on.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna give Mirror Plate 2 peppers. Like it's a cool combo, but I don't think this is the right build of it.
3 peppers
Like
because
once it's more refined,
actually,
I think
I
I'd be a lot
agree.
more excited to see it.
2 peppers is Neon. Are you looking?
Like I think it's a cool idea, and I think it has a lot of potential.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
I'm
I'm working on it.
Okay.
A more of a tempo control shell with this combo as its top end.
Yeah. So moving on. Cyber chronometers. What?
Fangs for the Murmurs, I guess, is what that's supposed to be. I have no idea.
Eviana, Speaker of the Fangs.
Oh, wait.
I guess that's what the deck's based around. So it's a control deck that's running a 6-mana Planeswalker to win the game.
Yeah, I was looking at this as like I was trying to find like more top end or a different top end for my deck. I looked at Eviana and it just seems okay. Like the +2 being draw a card, make a treasure is like fine, but also it's a 6-mana investment. And like this is a really weird. Like I'm a Grixis guy. I fucking love Grixis. Grixis is awesome.
Isn't there like a 7-mana?
Seems
Sorry, go ahead.
Weird. It just doesn't seem like it actually wins. You know?
Isn't there just like the 7-mana Planeswalker that has you gain control of your opponent's turn?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Actually, it's
hold on.
It's Crane.
I just think like if you're looking for a big bomb.
Yeah, it's a 7-mana spell. It's 1 more and is in your colors. It's 4 in Grixis. Its +2 is draw 2 cards. Your opponents discard 2 cards. That is an insane swing. And then -2 for an Edict. And then the -8 is just
you win.
Put 13 power on board and take an extra turn. That is insane. I think Lord Ellison would be a better top end for a Grixis deck like this.
I mean, 7.
I also don't really like this.
6 to 7 is a pretty big jump.
Yeah, but you're a control deck.
Yeah, this is also like this isn't even really a control deck. It's a discard deck. So you've got 3 pay up, 4 Valdez, and then some Profane Emissaries to apply early pressure with Polyp Pools. And then only 3 counter spells in the entire deck.
So what you're saying is that it's a mid-range. It's a really late game mid-range deck.
Oh, that's so bad. And because
against
Valdez is never going to be
basically other mid-range decks. Because
I don't even know if it does that.
I mean, if you subscribe to the philosophy of like a little bit slower, But
it's not doing anything to really disrupt. Like, yeah, sure, you can pinch pennies like for like 3 turns in a row and then do some pay ups. But I mean, I guess pay up is the here's some incidental ramp if they don't discard what I want them to. But you have 4 Unseizing Flames as your removal. You've got 4 copies of Judgment of Hautai as your sweepers.
You really hate creature decks, except you're also running 4 drops that get or 4 toughness guys that get killed.
Yeah, like your Profane Emissary dies to that. Your Valdez dies to that. Your Kalia's Abomination doesn't because it is a dragon, but it's a 4/4 flyer.
Wait, Ash of the Winged Steed. You're running all these cards just because you want to run Ash of the Winged Steed in your sideboard as a first mate. Eviana has dragon on it, so it counts for Ash. That's why it's running Eviana.
Oh, okay.
What does Ash actually do?
Good. Makes your Kalia's Abomination cost 4 instead of 5. So I guess you curve Ash into Kalia's Abomination, but you only have 1.
No, you have Profane Emissary. You can do the Profane Emissary, like turn 2 you drop Profane Emissary.
Yeah, so Emissary into Ash into Kalia's Abomination, but you only have 1 Abomination.
Profane Emissary fetches Kalia's Abomination.
Oh, I guess it does. Yeah, that's true. You're right. Reading the card explains the card. I don't know, but like, yeah, sure, I'll take a shock and discard 2 cards, whatever.
Yeah, I agree. This is
I'll-
not a
well,
very well
so-
thought out deck.
Well, not even, because I just sinkhole it or just cursory glance your emissary. Like they're only running 3 cosmic sinkholes. They're not even running any other counter spells. But I guess like Exuent doesn't really do much either. It's just, I mean, I guess it's a innocent blood, so I mean it's fine. But like,
you know what?
I feel like they made a Rakdos deck, saw Ivana, and said, "Man, I really want to play Grixis," and then for some reason built around a really bad Planeswalker.
Well, no.
Yeah.
What I think happened is that it feels like they took the Dragon's Breath deck, the Dragon Tyrant's Breath deck that won a few GPs or 2 GPs, and then took out the cards that made it a good mid-range deck, and then stepping on these control elements that don't synergize with the main plan.
Also, wait, what? They're only running 3 fetch lands that can fetch their duels. Wait, so
Wait, huh?
You can't even fetch Polyp Pools.
Profane Emissary.
That's not how that card works.
But
you get I mean, sure, you can either grab Polyp Pools with Profane Emissary or get your win con.
I mean,
yeah, so they have Shardstone Rifts. They have 6, but that's still not enough. IMO.
Yeah, I missed the Rifts. Yeah, no, you should be on it's like my Grixis list is on I think 8 or so. I'm on 2. So I'm on 3, 3, 1, 4. Yeah, so I'm on like 11 fetch lands. This is not enough fetch lands to have good mana.
Yeah, I'm in a 2-color deck and I run 4, but we'll get to that. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think we spent long enough on this deck, right?
Yeah, I
think so.
It's okay. I think it's like I'd give it a 2. Like it's interesting.
Actually, I'll give it 1 chili pepper because it feels like a worse version of Tyrant's Breath.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'll give it a 1 with you. Like it doesn't really. It feels really unfocused. It feels like it came from something that knew what it was doing and then just kind of lost it.
Took a Tyrant's Maneuver deck and took out the good parts that made a good mid-range deck.
No respect for Iviana. Jeez.
Oh, wait, Purple, you're here too. We can do ratings now. Sure.
Well, let's.
I just joined the then there. But
what, you don't like my ratings?
But Iviana is kind of crazy. Like the 0 being like even with 1 Polyp Pools, the 0 being a 4 mana, 4 damage Plague Wind kind of is really nuts.
Oh yeah, I guess.
Oh right, that's repeatable.
Like
I guess you don't use it for the uptick.
I mean, the uptick's good too, and the minus is good too.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like.
Oh, actually, I see the problem with this card. Because what you do is you just Plague Wind your opponent, and then they don't have a way to remove it on board without a thing that specifically that either like destroys target permanent or destroys target planeswalker. So
why would you not
this thing just keeps your opponent's board empty and gives you like a win condition and a clock. I kind of get it.
Yes, but that's 6 mana for that.
It's worth it. 6 mana is not that much for a repeatable like one-sided board wipe.
Well, I mean, like when the alternative in like Grixis is like cast Xanagan and win.
I don't know if Xanagan wins a lot less than you expect.
Man, every time I draw it, I cream myself. That card does so much.
like Xanagan.
I'm a Xanagan stan. We'll just leave it at that. I think the card's cracked.
If you minus Xanagan, it gets really sketchy.
Well, that's why you don't minus it. You just play Lucian into Xanagan and just start cracking for 5, 6, 7 lifelink.
Iviana is 6 mana, which is the point that I stopped building this kind of deck. Because I really like Iviana, but the curve.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting card. Like I think it's a cool card, but I just don't know if it.
You are at 23 lands and trying to cast a 6-drop, so yeah.
Oh god, I didn't even realize it was only 23 lands.
Do you want to move on to the next deck?
Yeah, this is mine. Mine is next.
Deadcat's Grixis Control. So what do you say about that
again?
again?
Beat this horse to death. I think it's cracked. I think it's amazing.
But you only play 1 copy.
Yes, it's your top end. Like you don't want to find it until you're ready for it. Like I play very very much like this is Legacy Control, which it's very much not. But I like Xanagan a lot. I like Lucian a lot. I think they're both really good cards.
So my question is splashing for stand unassailable on the sideboard.
Wait,
so,
yes.
Interesting choice.
Yeah, I'm playing. This is the part that I'm the most sketched out about. I'm not certain. I'm not sold on it. But after getting absolutely hammered by mono red last GP I played in, I'm just like I'm not losing that hard ever again.
Can't you just play
So I've got
Hungering
one
Cult
fetchable
instead?
green source.
Yeah,
Say
black
Yeah.
should have life gain, right?
Hungering Cult.
We can call it Wave Decay. Black has some pretty decent options.
Wave Decay is a bit black intensive.
Yeah, I don't know if the mana base necessarily supports Wave
Oh
Decay,
yeah,
but-
no, I didn't really want it to be a creature based because I just don't. Yeah,
But
I
there
just
are
think just
a lot of good
2 mana
options.
gain
as
7
well.
is nice. Like there are some options, but I didn't really like a lot of them as much as I.
Wait, also, can you literally not coalesce this?
That is correct. The idea is that I don't need to. That should buy me enough time to dig towards my
I'm not
3
I'm not
copies
gonna
of.
drill on this too much because it is just 2 sideboard cards, and the Dominion does tap for single. But like, I do think there's something a
Yeah,
bit like
and like I
questionable
said, it's the
about-
thing that I was the most sketch about. I'm not super sold on it. I
about
waffle back
needing
and
to
forth.
play a tap land to play a burn sideboard card. There's something a bit wrong there.
Well, so the idea is in the burn matchup, I fetch that turn 1
Yeah, but
because I'm not casting a 1 mana spell.
Cosmic
and-
Sinkhole?
Sinkhole. There's some good 1 mana spells that you want.
yeah, I mean there are. Yeah, no, I'm not going to disagree. Like there are definitely concessions that I'm making there, but and like I said, like I'm not super sold on it. I'm not really high on it, but I was running out of time. I had like 4 hours left.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay.
I wanted
It is just 2 sideboard cards.
Yeah.
And then I think the other most interesting card here is Merchant's Guile.
Yeah, this is the one that I was like kind of thinking about as just like a how good is this actually? How good is Brainstorm at 2 mana? In Goldfishing, it felt fine. Being able to flash it back with Cane Dancer was fine. I'm optimistic about it, but we'll see how it actually pans out.
Yeah, I agree.
I want to see it. I want to see what it can do because definitely being able to, like, especially late game, get rid of like 2 irrelevant cards and then fetch. Seems cool. It seems like
it's what makes Brainstorm broken.
yeah,
we're
but
just
at
gonna
2
see
mana,
the
I don't know
extra
if it's
mana.
worth it.
Yeah,
I'm looking
exactly.
forward to seeing it. So
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I'm excited about this deck. I'll give it a 3 because I keep beating it to death. But
1.
I've added some new cards this time.
Hey, Pipper,
I'm usually a control hater, but this has a lot of cantrips.
I love control.
Cantrips
Control is,
number 1.
My bread and butter.
I'm
Yeah.
not super sold that this can actually win before just randomly dying, almost. Because you do have a ton of stuff that costs you life. Like 4 Wound Dancers is a commitment.
Yeah.
And they only have like
It's up from last time I played. So I'm not sure how it's going to pan out, but
and you do only have 3 ways to make any kind of progress with Lucian and Xanagan. So if those don't work, then you
yeah.
don't
Well, I mean, I
really
got
do anything.
Monument, but yeah, I'm I'm
Get
kind of
Monument too.
Okay.
if things
I guess I
if
should
things
actually-
start getting removed, then things
Yeah.
start feeling bad.
Anyways, we should probably move on. So, Rock in Distress says, well, I think you're very familiar with this deck, Purple.
Just blue-white control again.
Yeah, so thoughts about this deck, Purple?
Is this just the same as what Splash Cat was running? I think the last GP looks like it.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, this deck's just generally pretty solid. The Johnny's a really good card. Juyi is a really good card. Reaping Lotus is a really good card. Yeah.
Do you have anything else that is there anything else that needs to be said about this deck? Or can we just move on?
I don't know.
Planeswalkers. Yeah.
Planeswalker Tribal.
Planeswalkers.
I still have no idea how good Reality is. But yeah, otherwise,
Yeah, it's
the
been
deck is
interesting.
really
It's one
solid.
that's I've looked at a couple of times that I'm just not sure about. So I just don't know.
Reweave is funny. That's all I can say. That's why I like it.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Imagine
probably
running
fine as a
more than
2 of.
15 lands.
It's just a lot of mana for a counter spell. But
Okay. 2
I
Chili
mean, you're a control
Peppers.
deck. You're planning on getting that.
2 Chili Peppers because I've seen this deck enough times.
I'll give it
it's a
3
slow
because I haven't seen this deck before.
Oh.
Because I've been absent from the last few GPs.
Good. You haven't seen it before. Anyways, moving on. Gravos is playing. Oh no,
yeah,
they did
but
not.
that deck with 3 nerfs.
Stairs
Not
are
check the
cheap.
back notes. Oh no. Okay, so Purple, does this deck still work?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like. I think one of the reasons this deck before the nerfs was so strong was that there's a lot of stuff going on that's not doing degenerate things with Chart the Vast and Chart the Vast. drawing 7 and
Well, the
whatever.
problem here is that Tamio is useless in this deck now.
Tamio's whatever.
Well,
I mean,
you plus
I mean,
one, you
Tamio
attack
seems
a
like a
creature.
fine. It's a fine card.
no, you don't.
But
You well, you
definitely-
-2 and you get a divination type thing.
Divination. It's not even divination. It's just you hope to hit
It's
something.
better. I mean, it's better divination.
Really? You
Yeah.
could
I mean, you
whiff.
have to choose.
Yeah, you can whiff,
I
but
mean, you
like,
definitely can. But so let's see.
Like-
You don't have. There's no instance to mill either. Or actually, I guess it's not. I guess it's not really relevant. But yeah,
Like,
I don't know. Like the blue
so-
splash doesn't seem nearly as worth it. I mean, I guess recall forgotten, chart the fast.
Yeah.
I mean,
you-
this might sound
pulling
like
out of
a
the board.
crazy thing. There aren't artifacts in this deck, and if I'm not
like, the thing is, that
incorrect, you do care about the number of card types, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, permanent
You-
types. Yeah.
artifacts don't matter because the thing is that there's 6 card types, right? It's like has
Yeah,
5.
well,
One,
the point I'm
two,
making is you
three.
can
And you-
get that
There's
better
only
by
four-
putting a few
Only
lands
for
and adding
permanent types, which
trolls.
is what Tamio looks at. Well, Tamio looks at.
Right?
You do not want. This deck's mana base is already kind of sketchy.
Uh,
Oh god, I hadn't even
And-
looked at it yet.
Oh, right.
And- in terms of like how many basics you have to run for Primal Resurgence.
Oh yeah, this mana base. Remember,
Why is New Divide even a card?
New Divide?
Why would you
New
play
Divide's
this
fine.
over-
yeah, it's
Well,
when
why
you
would
play
you-
size number 6 to 7,
It's good with Logger Recluse. That's the main.
Yeah,
which
okay,
is not
I
good
guess.
now
It's
because it
fine.
costs 2 mana.
Yeah, it costs 2.
Yeah, so just going through the changes, Tamio is basically always hitting at least 3, generally 4 cards. You can double check me on that, Ricky, in the original list. And obviously it's worse. The -2 is worse. But it's still gonna it's still value. I mean, the +1 is pretty bad now, but
I mean, a big point of Tamil is that in the old deck is that I could play and then +1 her for.
yeah,
If
but
you-
the thing is that the old deck ate 3 nerfs, so it was clearly really good. I'm just saying, as far as like non-ideal cards go, Tamio is not that bad.
Okay, sure.
Let's see.
I
Wait,
mean, it's
what
definitely
was
a playable card. It's a respectable card, but just definitely not what it was.
Not.
so
Yeah.
so Chart the Vast, 1 mana more gets 1 card less, right?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't. You can't cheat mana values. You get 1 of each mana value. You don't get 1 of each value, then 2 of 1 mana value.
So you can whip a lot harder with it now because
Yeah. Also 6 mana, so it doesn't. Not that
God, I
matters.
remember scooping to you, Ricky, when you were
Much.
playing this the last time that we played against each other in a GP. I was like, this is horrible.
I mean, it still does what it does. I mean, it's obviously easier to deal with, less explosive, especially with Tamio,
Yeah, no, that was scary.
because you can't Tamio no longer rituals.
yeah, you can't chart into Tamil into plus Tamil into playing another Tamil plus Tamil and making mana that way.
Yeah, which is very good.
Logger Recluse change is
Pretty detrimental.
probably the most impactful, just because you have much more reliance on Primal Surgeons to get any semblance of fast draw.
Yeah.
You should still be alright-ish, but you're much less exposed now. I think the deck's still pretty respectable though. Tamio is the only bad card, so to speak, in the deck. I mean, Logger Recluse isn't great, but it still still what Logger Recluse did, kind of,
I mean,
mostly.
do you just replace it with off-world surveyors now because that's your only other option for a 1-drop land ramp?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know quite if you have the Supreme game that you used to have, which would make offload surveyors worthwhile. Because this deck does get a lot of value just off having good creatures. Petal Scatter is huge. You're playing Sacrificial Bull, that can win the game by itself.
Yeah.
Logger Recluse coming the board was a lot more relevant in this deck than say a Rejuve. When Rejuve is more so just a random blocker. I think this deck's generally fine.
Okay, sure. I'm gonna give it 5 chili peppers because I want to see how it performed.
I'm going to give it 2. It seems a lot worse than it was.
I'm giving it a 2 because this conversation is taking too long.
I agree. Let's move on.
News from CD Newland. He just pinged me about the way the combo works. So first you cast Fulfill Twisted Dreams, tapping pools to untap everything. So we got that part right. And then we cast Volley, tapping pools, using the -2 to get back Fulfill. And then we just do that again. And then cast Take a Walk. Wait, but hold on.
The blinker Planeswalker, so you can reactivate it.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And then activate the -2 and target fulfill again. Okay, so it just keeps going. Okay, that's actually a lot cooler than I thought it was. That's actually really sweet.
Okay. Anyways, moving on. Let's actually.
Yeah. Sorry. Sorry for the sidetrack.
Gender terrorists, barrel boys. All right, this deck. So it's supposed to be a bushwhacker deck, but it doesn't have any token makers.
Also, I didn't realize this when I first looked at the list, but I think does actually not have any 1-drops, and it's on 19 lands.
Ooh, no, yeah, I don't.
Does Hot to Touch count as a 1-drop?
Sure.
No.
Actually, Will.
Yes, I shall. Hey, it's 1 mana, remove target illusion.
Yeah.
Hey, it's true. It's indicate.
It is indicate.
Anyways,
yeah, this feels like a little bit of a sad. Wants to be 8-whack, but doesn't get to be because there's no tokens.
My brother in aggro in the Groll, 5 chili peppers. Just because I love win 8-whack.
I'm gonna give it 2. It doesn't look like it works.
Yeah, I definitely don't think this works just off the land count and like the lack of one.
I mean, I guess so. They're playing here with you. They're playing Rogar's Frenzy.
2 copies, 1 copy, or 3 copies.
No, 2 copies, 3 copies.
A seed call.
Oh, and then a seed call. That's not enough. You've got too many. You got too many bushwhacks and not enough tokens.
I do think there is some cool stuff going on here. Like Spirit of Autumn, I think is a really cool card in this kind of list.
Yeah, I agree.
Because like going like the lack of 1-drop really hurts this deck, but like going like EOT, Seed Call, turn 2, untap, Spirit of Autumn, make 4 1/1s, you have 8 creatures.
Yeah, 8 creatures, yeah.
Hey, that's almost like creature vomit.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so yeah, there's some barrels for these boys.
Now, of course, can you actually get to 3 mana to cast Spirit of Autumn?
On 19 lands? So that's a damn good question.
How many tap lands are they running?
2 plus 3 checks.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Though, so I will note the concern about, like we said, the lack of 1-drops and the fact that they're on 19 lands, where even Delver and Legacy plays 19 lands, and they play 12 cantrips to find those lands.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit concerned about the mana situation, but I do think this is a cool deck. I'm going to rescind my 2 and give it a 4.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of cool stuff going on here. Like Spirit of Autumn is not a card that I realized was actually like pretty efficient.
Yeah, Spirit of Autumn.
Like you can just run 4 Banished Companions. Like I don't. This is just frustrating from my perspective because it's just like there are good 1-drops that are better than some of the random jank you've decided to put in this deck, and it's just like as a burn player whose only creatures are 1-drops, like literally just text me. I don't know, DM me. I got you, man. It's not like come on.
This definitely strikes as a list that like there wasn't quite enough time to actually like go into a goldfish game and like test it out. They're just like, oh yeah, I like these cards. These cards work with my general idea of what I'm doing.
Because it's like so close. It's so close to a cool idea.
Yeah, like I should play 4.
Yeah, it feels like it needs some more. It needed some more testing.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on. Giant Poets, Red Green Zealous Burn. Hey, Neon, what can you tell us about this deck?
Yeah, so looking at this deck, 21 lands, IMO too many. You gotta be running less than 18. We've got
but it's got
so let's look at the 1-drop. What are you getting in green that you're not getting anywhere else? You're getting Daisy.
Yes.
Okay. For okay. Well, actually, considering you're running Daisy, I guess you want more lands, but this is what the fuck? I guess you wanted. Why are you running like? Okay, Daisy is baffling me. Heart of Daisy, creatures you control base power 1 or less. Okay. So we have Green Selfless Spirit that maybe becomes a lord if you go into the late game, which you're already losing at that point. Advocate of the Hunt. Okay, this one's interesting. This one's cool if you want to like be a dedicated go wide type strategy. Maybe this deck is more mid-range. Maybe that's what it's trying to do. Because it's not running the usual like 1-drops that you have in red. This one makes a thing. Here with you, I've been seeing it more and more, especially with the creature base that you have. Seems pretty good. This deck is not a typical. It runs like cantrips and things like that. Like, I think that this deck is not as dedicated burn. It is technically burn because it has like its win condition uses like Advocate of the Hunt and things like that. But it's mostly just like an aggro like Gruul deck that happens to use burn to get its triggers off. So I think it's cool. I definitely want to see it play. I'm gonna give this 4 chili peppers.
Yeah, that seems
actually
fun.
I'm gonna give it 5. I don't know.
So the interesting card in this deck is Minister of Zealots.
Yeah, beginning of combat, make a 1/1. I've seen this before.
So the synergy being that you turn 2 Minister of Zealots, get a token with haste, swing with the token, and then Social Graces.
Yeah,
so you don't
yeah.
have to sack.
Oh,
I see that. I considered Social Graces is really easy to cast with how many shocks and fetches. I literally ran it in a mono red burn list. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just Git Probe.
Yeah.
And then it's also running Artie's Invocation and Vanessa Preserves, the good art version, the version with the good art.
You're doing the Lord's work, Ricky.
Which is actually just a one-man. It's basically one man make 2 tokens card.
Yeah. No, it's correct.
Yeah, and then you can technically make more mana if you need to untap for like a Scorch or something.
Yeah, like imagine it's a 2 mana creature that makes a token and also makes a treasure. This is extremely cracked.
This is
they get 1 double green.
And then in multiples, it makes even more creature tokens.
It's true. That is how the card works.
So this deck is definitely potentially very scary. I mean, I think Advocate of the Hunt might be one of, if not just the scariest card in the entire format. This card's terrifying.
Yeah, that's insane. That card is just scary, especially with the ability that this deck has to start going wide.
Oh, that says a player. So that triggers off
a player.
Cool. That is, oh my god, yeah.
Well, I thought you were the word player.
Like, I think it is legitimately has the case for like the scariest card in the entire format.
I love when your land drops are trumpet blasts. That's so cool.
Obviously there is a
also
where, like,
they do have a crystal cavern in here to be able to actually hardcast the Social Graces if they need to, which I think is cute. Which incidentally also turns on Advocate of the Hunt.
Yeah.
No, you can't get Advocate of the Hunt off. This deck becomes a bit sketchier. Daisy is a bit questionable as an Anthem with 21 lands, though it does protect Advocate, which is good. Invocation is a bit on the expensive side, but if you can get Advocate off, this is pretty nuts.
Yeah, I think this is really cool.
Also, shout out to 14-card sideboard.
Yeah. Oh, you missed it earlier. We had someone with an 8-card sideboard. That was the Lantern Control deck that had 8 cards.
Lantern Control.
Huh?
It's the quote.
I didn't even notice.
Deck.
I remember looking at this deck and I like couldn't figure out. It was just like this kind of draft
what going on either.
And I didn't even realize there was 8 sideboard cards.
See, I think their plan is to distract opponents so much by how confusing Decklist is that they don't realize or that they mess up their plays in the game.
Yeah, I just noticed the 14
Bold
card
strategy, Cotton. We'll see if it pays off.
You can just add 1 more Sealed Riftway. Like, you could literally just add 1 more of any of the cards in here, because none of them are 4-ofs. Can MFs not count? Oh my word.
Okay, anyways, 3 chili peppers because they used the good art for the pronouncers.
Yeah, I think this is great. I think this is a really fun one. I'm gonna give it a 4. I think it's a silly, cute little thing you can do.
Anyways, moving on, we have Hersey Road to Awe, which is a deck they've been playing last GP, and it's absolutely terrifying to play against. I know because I played against it and I lost.
It does, of course.
I am excited to see a.
Is this mill? What's going on?
It's Living Death.
Okay, so basically, you mill your yard, you get Clawing Shaman and Lion's Vanguard and Graveyard. Then you reanimate Clawing Shaman, which reanimates your entire graveyard, including Lion's Vanguard, which gives you a board +2/+3 haste and trample.
Yeah, it's horrifying.
And you can do it with
Very
Daylight Invoker, which taps to taps and sacks to reanimate something. It costs 1 less for each creature card in your graveyard.
Yeah, Leyline Invoker is a pretty crazy card.
And then you're playing all these random one drops that mill yourself on ETB, which
I think Leyline Invoker is
scary when
definitely the highlight of this deck, just because it mills so much, like gets through forces out counter spells, speeds you up. The 2-drop instead of reanimation being normally 3 or more mana.
And if your opponent tries to contest the board, then you have the Nether Muck Bruiser.
Yeah.
Those, of course,
Muck Bruiser is horrifying.
Those, of course, get hit pretty hard by Grave Hate. And by pretty hard, I mean incredibly hard. Hard to understate how hard it gets hit by Grave Hate. But if you don't have Grave Hate, then good luck.
Yeah, no, this is very cool. I like this really cool Sultai Reanimator build. This is sweet, but also with like a red splash.
It's playing red for Liar's Dice because it lets you lets you loot without paying any mana, right?
Yeah, no, it's pretty sweet. I like that a lot, actually.
Yeah. What about you, Neon?
Yeah, no, this is exciting. I haven't gotten to see this, so I'm gonna.
This deck is scary. As a living end player, or as having to play against living end in Modern, is this is a lot like less repetitive play styles as living end, because living end just cycles a bunch. But this is still terrifying as you just, especially if you're playing like a really aggro deck, you don't really have a lot of like graveyard hate in the sideboard because you can't really afford it or whatever. This is terrifying because the pressure starts like compounding more and more as the game goes on. You see their graveyard getting bigger and bigger, and you're just like,
Yeah, no, I think you kind of nailed it. Comparing it to living
it doesn't matter.
It's living in with a fair game plan that just wrecks your shit if you don't do something about it.
Well, actually, they only need like 6 creatures in the graveyard because Lion's Vanguard buffs all their 1-drops. Like they can stick out of nowhere, right? Like Lion's Vanguard makes your 1/1s into 4/4 trampling hasters.
Yeah,
it's like if you could cycle what's it called? Like Craterhoof Behemoth almost.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
maybe not
that's
that
so
good.
cracked.
Like,
I mean, it's pretty damn close. It's a pretty insane overrun effect.
Oh wait, where am I? Okay. Anyways, moving on.
I think this is sweet.
Right.
then we just-
Michelle's playing. Hey, Purple, do you recognize this deck?
No, I don't. Can you
It's just the
tell
blue
me
white
all about
control
it?
deck.
Do we need to talk about it? Or do we just move on?
So Neon.
I'm rating this one differently than the previous one because I think it'll be funny.
Fair
Okay.
enough.
So Neon, I'm very
I'm gonna just
disappointed
give it
by
the
the
same.
lack of what was the Nut Up guy called again? Nut Up?
Oh, God.
Is Nut Up not an instigator?
It's a
Leaf down.
adventure, so it's a leaf down hunk.
Okay, so Neon, I'm disappointed by the lack of leaf down hunk in this deck.
So here's the thing. It is competing against so much at 2.
Oh yeah, leaf down
Like-
hunk is not actually a good card.
Oh, but
Yeah, no, this card is not like, I get it. Nut up. You know what I'm saying? We have other ways to nut up, okay? We can nut up in spirit. We don't need leaf down the hunk, okay? If you think that you need a card to nut up, you've been nutting up incorrectly this whole time. It's a spiritual thing.
okay. It's like, yeah, okay, you can continue. You've already killed.
All right, so this deck, so I don't know if you all know this. You probably don't because I've never said it before. But I play Prowess in Modern. I play Is It Prowess in Modern?
Really?
What was that?
Really?
Yeah, I do. That's one of my favorite decks. It's super like fast paced. And I decided I wanted to play something aggro, but I also didn't want to just play Burn again. Like, don't get me wrong, Burn is awesome, but like I had to mix it up a little bit. And I was looking at the train cycle of artifacts, and I'm like, hold on. So you're telling me that I bounce a land to my hand, probably a land I'll just replay, and I get to trigger all of my prowess creatures? Okay, so I did that. This deck is I've been playing it. It is very much dependent on whether or not you can keep 7. because
I was
Fanged
gonna
and
say,
Jaws
12 land
enters
seems pretty
tapped.
low.
Really bad land to have if you only have one. You really want one of the 8. You need to have a untapped land, and then maybe like a line, I guess it's called. I'm gonna call them trains because I don't care. You need to have a train, and you need to have either an untapped land or a train. Technically, you can kind of make something work if you just have a Fanged and Jaws in a train, but you're going to be really slow, and that's not what you want to do. One of the cards that I saw that I played against I don't remember who it was. Who was playing Storm last GP?
Purple.
Yeah, I was playing against Purple, and I saw Goddess's Whimsy, and I'm like, oh, cool, expressive iteration, but mono red. This card is so stupid.
Wait, hold on. I'm reading this now?
Yeah, you have to
What?
read it like 7 times before you understand
What in
what
the
it actually
fuck?
does. You get, basically, so, do you know the card
What?
Reckless Impulse?
Yes.
You get that, well, it's not really Reckless Impulse because it goes away at end of turn, but you get that. Then once you play a card, you get it again. I found out recently you lose the last, like, I was playing it kind of wrong. You pick 2, you have to play one of them, and you can't play the other. Very important thing. But yeah, this card is so dumb because here's like the ideal play pattern. You go turn 1 Prowess Creature, turn 2 Autumn Fae. Actually, it doesn't even involve Goddess's Whimsy, but we'll get to that later. You go turn 2 Autumn Fae. You play Crush Cowards on your Autumn Fae. Oh hey, that's 10 damage in the air. If you have like a couple lines and like a Touch of Witchcraft or an Aincorn Assault and an untappable line, and you can just win turn 3. It's now granted, that is the ceiling. This deck also has a floor, and the floor is my opponent plays a high velocity of removal. Because I don't really have an answer for that. I just am kind of like hoping I play enough creatures that they'll eventually not have an answer for it. But no, they just kind of like, they will totally dunk on me. Fun thing about Goddess's Whimsy, though, you don't have to play the adventure on Fanged and Jaws to just drop it in from Goddess's Whimsy. You just drop it in, it came from Exile, it's untapped.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I am very suspicious of only having 12 lands, though.
Well, the thing is that I have cool artifact lands that also trigger my prowess, and also can bounce a sorcery to my hand.
To make them work.
You're playing an aggro deck.
Yeah, who needs lands? No, I love also the play pattern of I swing with an Autumn Fae, I swing 10. They're like, okay, I can live that. They have a card in a hand, and then I just bounce the same sorcery I just played to my hand and recast it, and it's so funny when they put sorceries on lands because you can just do things with those. I also like that they nerfed Acorn Assault by saying non-land permanent, but hey, guess what's funny is that 8 of my lands are non-land permanents. Yeah. Also, fun fact, the Basat Charm on a Autumn Fae does more than 3, because it does 4, believe it or not.
Wait, does it do 6, actually?
Well, yeah, actually, you're right, it does do
Yeah,
6, but it would do 5 if I targeted their face, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, few things about this deck is that you have just straight up a 20% chance to mulligan, because you won't have any playable lands.
I don't have any what?
So, straight up, to draw a land, because you only have 12, straight up 80% chance to have a land in your opener. That's not a rare land. So, just straight up 20% chance to mulligan. That's ignoring stuff like having Fanged and Jaws plus a rare line, which is not super playable, though I guess maybe it's playable.
Yeah.
Also, Touch of Witchcraft over Strong Arm is really interesting because you don't have a way to give trample.
Autumn plays flying over.
I have flying. Yeah, no, the idea behind Touch of Witchcraft instead of that, I saw that and I thought about it. But the reason that you do Touch of Witchcraft is it's a free spell and it can continue your chain with Goddess's Whimsy.
Huh.
Right? So like you Goddess's Whimsy, and you have an untapped like mountain. Instead of tapping down to play that, you tap that, get your mana back essentially, and then you keep going.
And then you flip a green card.
Yeah.
So true.
Also, it allows for like more explosive play patterns. Like, actually, I also said I die to removal, but I do have 4 Acorn Assault and 2 Blossoming Defenses in the side. That doesn't guarantee anything, but it is technically insurance.
Yeah. So definitely when I was playing my version of Goodman Press, you run out of card. I found it really difficult to actually kill your opponent. Even with like having like more defaultly powerful cards with like strong arm dealing more damage than touch witchcraft or whatnot. Autumn Fey does definitely help with that. Autumn Fey is very, very scary card, especially with Fanged and Jaws. Though I'm not quite sure if Fanged and Jaws is reliable considering you only have 20 lands. So casting it as Crush Cowards is a bit hard because you need 2 lands and then Fang Gen, but you only have 20 lands.
Yeah, I definitely see what you're saying. But like, even if I go down to 5 and I have the lands that I need and a Goddess's Whimsy, like literally I can just rebuild essentially.
Okay, so Goddess's Whimsy is an incredible card. Large reason why I built the Storm deck, but Goddess's Whimsy does take an incredible amount of mana to actually do anything effective with.
Well, okay, so
it is, if you just to make it not cost like be ridiculously expensive, you have to be happy with it playing lands, which is I guess fine. I guess it kind of works as a cantrip, but even then it becomes really slow because you need to have a land drop remaining. So it kind of pseudo costs 3 in a way.
It works a lot like Expressive Iteration. Yeah, you play it on turn 3 with 2 lands, and then you hopefully hit a land and a spell, and then you have action.
But it does definitely require a lot of mana.
I mean, I can go to like 4 without even like.
Is really important.
Yeah, I can go to like 4, like 4 like instances of repeating the loop with just things like, with just like my trains, hopefully hitting a land. I can hit like a Touch of Witchcraft. Acorn Assault can also be free if I have any trains. So there's ways to like loop spells. The only thing I don't want to hit off of it is like multiple creatures.
Yeah, if you are just committed, I'm just saying that it is definitely a high rolly card in this deck.
A card I almost forgot about is Breach the Lilies. This card just is 2 mana and you get 2 spells, which is really strong because you just trigger Prowess twice and you're just paying like mana basically for 1 spell.
Yeah.
So that's something I would put out there.
Anyways, I'm gonna give it 5 Chili Peppers because it reminds me of the NetUp deck. So, and that makes me
this is.
head.
Wait, why did I only put 3? Oh no, I didn't. Never mind. I haven't done this one yet.
So, anyways,
yeah, this is a 5 for me. If I could do 4.5, I probably would just to spite you. But yeah, we'll give it 5.
Wait, what? Did I put in the wrong?
Okay, so next we have Popcornia on Scuff.
It's 8 sack.
So Popcornia is on new 8 sack. Whatever we're calling it, the new 8 sack deck.
Does Popcorn know how to play this deck?
I don't really want to explain this deck, but basically you
can watch my videos if you want to know how to play this deck
I don't know.
or how this deck works.
This deck has been around for apparently a while, and I've not learned to.
Oh no, the version that's
been
around for a while
I
is
enjoyed
different.
Watching Ricky play it was really cool.
Yeah, so there's like 4 iterations or so of 8 sack at this point. They all play slightly differently and have very different chains. In particular, this one has selective breeding instead of Beck in the Pack, which is banned, so you need to find a replacement.
I mean, Dreamset version had all had selective and breeding, or selective breeding and Beckon, right? So
but this kind of Warlocks Beyond chain type of deck has a lot of iterations going on to it. So like me and Ricky are both familiar with it because we're the only ones who've played it. I don't know exactly what the best way to explain the deck is, but basically the premise behind this one and why it like works is getting 6 spells for Sure Long technique to chain together Kaone with stuff like Kaone and Conjure and Warlocks Beyond and Ancestral Council to get more spell count. Then you carefully get up to 6 or 5 spells. Then you get Sure Long technique to like Kaone or Ancestral Council or Conjure. Untap your lands, get back some resources, and then you can kind of go off enough to win, but you do kind of limp over the finish line a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some pretty cracked cards at the top in here that you're putting on the battlefield at the end.
I think I only got Shui Long off 1 time in the last GP, although I did win more than 1 game, so this deck can win without having to go for the Shui Long fine. And you sort of have to
Yeah,
do that because
this definitely has a pretty scary mid-range plan.
it's not that scary.
I don't know. I think it's pretty
It gets board wiped.
respectable. That's true, but so does any creature deck.
Yeah.
But I guess since you're a bunch of singletons, that for your actual threats, it does make it hard to rebuild from that.
Like if your opponent
Yeah.
has a like real game plan, kind of, where they're not just dying to 4 on a 3/2 pace or whatnot, and can deal with Kyoro and Leyran Alpha, which are like scary but not impossible to deal with, then you do kind of not do all that much, especially considering that you do have a fair amount of weakness to interaction. A lot of points where you can be interacted with on this chain. Gravehake for Keone, Toddy is really nasty for this deck.
Yeah.
Killing mana blocks is really annoying. Counter spells in general, of course, because what looks sack on cast. But
all of these evolutions are.
But
sack.
yeah, if you can manage to figure out the lines, hopefully faster than Ricky does, and there is a real solid game plan here. You do win if you combo off, manage to get all the parts together. But yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give this a 3. I've seen Ricky play the unbanned version. That one was cooler.
I agree. Dreamsight 8-sack did not deserve to die.
I think it definitely
No,
deserved to die. It just makes me sad. It definitely deserved to
Dreamsight
die.
didn't get nerfed, and like we got all the cards from new sets. Then like we could play Dreamsight 8-sack with inside of Spirit Scorned and Kyoro.
I'm giving this one chili
That's
pepper
like a
because
nightmare.
whenever anyone plays this against me, I literally want to die. It's so, oh my god.
Okay, so
Watching this play is like watching me rip my toenails off.
okay, friendly reminder.
Have you ever played against somebody playing TES or the Epic Gamble? That's what it's like.
Friendly,
You just get to watch them jerk themselves off for a while.
okay, so friendly reminder that you can call your opponent for slow play. More people should be doing this. I've seen Ricky go like tank for 10 minutes. Please call for people for slow play. Not saying that Popcorn will slow play, but just in general, this deck is
it's big brain. That's for sure.
It's more inducive to slow play than other types of decks, shall we say.
I'm going to give it 5 chili peppers because I want to see how Popcorn performs with this deck, whether they know how to play it or not.
Reasonable.
Okay.
All right, now we got Purple's blue-green Simic Pressure. This deck is exciting. I've been thinking about trying to make a pressure deck because there's some wild stuff that you can do with pressure.
Yeah, so this is a updated version of something I ran on League a while back. The updated cards being Jade Harvester and Anthus's Accomplice. But just in general, because doubt people know much about like Dragon's Eye Descendant.
Oh yeah, I think you kicked my ass with this one.
But basically, you have the kind of general pressure package: Monkey Shines, Oracle's Vision, Mark Bruiser. Sinkhole, of course, is a good card, but then you have some more interesting stuff. You have Dragon's Eye Descendant, which
It's one that caught my eye.
does. I think a lot of people's first impression is that this is kind of a draft chaffy kind of card because the kind of ETB give target creature plus X is not really that strong in general. But the notable thing here is that this is often like a +5/+5 buff, and on top of that, you're milling 3.
This is sweet.
On a Muck Bruiser, can potentially get up to +8/+8 on top of Muck Bruiser already being huge. It also gives trample. So
yeah, that's a huge finisher. I think that's awesome.
So then, in addition to Dragon's Eye Descendant, you have Twisted Masterwork, which can both find Dragon's Eye Descendant or Muck Bruiser at instant speed. In addition to find Thal Cultivator, which mills 4. So you have Twisted Masterwork, Thal Cultivator, and 4 cards. I guess 3 if you hit a creature. So that's good mill. You can also find Seek of Untouched Beauty that ramps you. So that's the Twisted Masterwork kind of power deck. And then you just have general graveyard synergy pieces, Scubbling Gnat. You have Jade Harvester being a kind of cool card. Doesn't actually take that many card types to make this really, really cheap. Only 4, so not that much of a deck building constraint.
It's pretty reliably costing only 2. This is like an insane Tarmogoyf.
Additionally, the scavenge ability is pretty nice because like Scubbling Gnat has flying, Anthus's Accomplice also has flying. So bit easier to use it there. And then Athos Accomplice got reworked this month actually. I thought it was kind of cool. What's the modern card? The Connive?
Ledger
Do you-
Shredder?
Isn't that Ledger Shredder?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ledger
Ledger
Shredder.
Shredder.
But this is kind of a half of a Ledger Shredder almost, where like you always lose.
I like that a lot.
Doesn't buff itself. And I thought that it was neat. Filled the graveyard. Gives me another body to with Dragon's Eye Descendant or Jave Harvester, and is better than Devotee of Winds, because I really did not like Devotee of Winds in this deck.
This I remember playing against this deck. I think I was on Heart of Xena combo, and this just rolled me. And this looks like a much tighter, much cleaner list than you were testing then. This is sweet. I'm excited for it.
Fortunately,
Go to 4.
Still has some like minor issues, like you're in green blue, so you don't have great removal. But yeah, I like this deck. It's cool.
This deck is cool. It's also my round 1 opponent.
Good luck.
Yeah. I love
Just go faster.
Simic aggro. It's so cool.
Just go faster. Simply drag race.
Dude, I literally will. Just watch me.
I might actually, depending on when you guys play, I might try and spectate that one and do some.
We're gonna try to play tomorrow afternoon.
Sweet.
Or
I got
evening,
tomorrow off
actually,
work.
technically.
Yeah, I got tomorrow off work.
So-
I'd love to.
Moving on.
If you'd like to commentate that with me, Ricky, that would be sweet.
Isn't Purple also commentating it?
I mean, you can also commentate it.
Yeah, sure.
if you want.
Well, if it's a good time for me. But anyways, moving on. My deck, RickyRister's Oxfox, because I couldn't find a more broken linear deck in time. So one day before GP, I asked. Actually, no, it was on the day of the GP. On the day of the deck list submissions, I asked Purple for a broken linear deck that features a card that he wants nerfed that I could play for a GP, and he just told me good luck or something.
Yeah, I remember saying that. He never actually said anything.
Yeah, I haven't been building my decks when it's like, and it's gonna be like 2 sets and the wild card, or not the wild card. Wait, do wild cards come out? I don't know.
Wait, aren't you part
As
of
well as
council now? Shouldn't you know this?
Wait, should I know this? Maybe. Do I know this? No.
Well, you're part of the council. When do we do set submissions for February?
Check MSEM2 news pins, probably. It's probably in the.
Yeah, for MSEM2 news.
Yeah, it's
I
in
will-
the second pin.
Second pin. Gotcha.
But yeah, I haven't been building too many decks recently.
Yeah, so I decided to go with Oxfox because apparently that's what Purple told me was the most broken deck in the format, and also I do not want to play 8-sack again. I'm pretty sure if I play it again, people are going to actually play it. I'm sure if I play 8-sack again, people are actually going to call me out on my slow play. So yeah, I've got scot-free so far, but I don't want to chance it any longer.
So Oxfox, you have Starfield Workgate and Chronicles Kitsune. As a nice combo, work very well together. 1 bust creatures tokens, the other makes creature tokens. You're gonna get a lot of Oxes, and then you just have a solid white civilized core, nice solid cards, Durali's Lance. And just generally very strong, very fast.
Yeah, seems like a really cool curve out aggro deck. I like it.
Founding Hero is definitely up there in terms of clock and
Card's awesome.
scariness. And they have solid interactive options too, with like Mercantile Chords and Heraldry and whatnot. I don't think the sideboard's actually changed at all from
Yeah,
when you
I like
played
the
it.
sideboard.
2
The sideboard
DPs
looks
back.
really, really well rounded.
Yeah, I mean it's a solid deck. But which card from it do you actually want to get nerfed? Because apparently it's a deck that features a card you want to get nerfed, right?
Not really.
Okay.
I like very rarely build decks like that.
I mean, this
Last
is, I'm,
time.
not, like, I'm looking at this deck. I don't think any of this is like particularly broken. It's just really good. It's solid. It does
Yeah,
the thing.
I think if anything, it's probably like Starfield Workgate. I think Starfield Workgate does restrict. It's like the type of card that like only gets better and gets better in very significant ways, as evidenced by Chronicles of Kitsune.
Yeah.
But any kind of enchantment or makes this nuts, like an Honor of the Pure, would make this Starfield Workgate go even more insane. And Honor of the Pure is a very innocuous card.
I'm Mono White's biggest fan, except for Mono Red. I'm a bigger fan of Mono Red. 5 chili peppers.
Thank you very much. Anyways,
Give it a 4. I'll give it a 4. I respect Mono White. I play Death and Taxes and Legacy. I play Death and Taxes and Pioneer. Yeah, I pioneered and pioneer mono white aggro, so respect.
I play Soul Sisters and everyone hates me.
Hell yeah, Chad shit.
Hey, Soul Sisters used to be good before a bunch of nerfs happened.
Hear me out. Hear me out. It's Boros Soul Sisters, and I use Norin the Wary plus Abiding Grace, Kamiya False Hope Fog Loops.
How many friends do you have?
Is that a
I can't
modern?
imagine
Like a
Mega?
couple.
So moving on, we have Scribble on Esper Control featuring Nagui. Nagui? How do you
Call it
pronounce
what it is. It's drunk cats.
I think this deck's really cool.
Yeah, this is sweet. I was looking at it earlier.
If it's called
I'm
drunk
looking forward to
cats,
seeing it.
why are they making birds?
Because they're drunk.
They're not using the good art for children.
Everyone knows once a cat is inebriated, it grows wings and flies away.
Yes,
It's true.
that
I was
is
there.
true. So basically have a kind of standard Esper Control-y package with some interesting cards, particularly 3 cheers, working with the Nagui. So you have Nagui in play, you control your opponents doing instant sorcery casting, so 3 cheers becomes triple the Monarch-Tutor, which is a pretty good card.
That's pretty sweet.
Also costs only 2 mana because of Nagui. But on top
I
like
like
that you
this.
have Pay Up, Cosmic Sinkhole, Portal Fracture, and Journey's End all being massively buffed for having Nagui in play. So Cosmic Sinkhole is a hard counter, Portal Fracture is a hard counter that makes 2 tokens. Pay Up is a painless slot seize that also makes a treasure. Journey's End is 1 mana bottom
Fate seal.
removal
Yeah.
that fate seals.
Oof.
That is so cracked. This deck is sweet. I like this a lot.
So actually,
It's
Are
also
there
just
any
randomly got
first
Heart of
combos
Zadina in here
with
just
MSEM?
because.
well, they have a Johnny, so like a Johnny Heart of Zadina is a pretty well-threaded combo, right? At this point.
Yeah, it's a pretty great interaction.
I do have some
I think it's pretty sweet.
I mean, is there
Somewhat.
any like 2 cards together make infinite tokens, or like a 2-card infinite combo?
No, it doesn't look like there is, but you can make some massive. So, Children of the Clouds with a Johnny and Heart of Zadina is just an insane number of tokens and a lot of life gain. Not to mention that you can just keep activating Monument of Queens for obscene amounts and just get a massive flying first strike vigilance.
There is also just the point where if you have Nagui in play and you play 3 cheers, you
just win.
you probably just win
You get
because
the heart of the cards.
because like the thing about a triple demonic tutor is that it can fetch itself, right?
Yeah. Oh my god.
So you're not exactly losing on value.
What? So
and
you treat 3 cheers for Portal Fracture, 3 cheers, and then whatever you want, and then just keep doing that.
Simple or Journey's End, and like, well, your cards are so busted.
Now
that-
Gui plus Portal Fracture is just they never pay. It just becomes 1 mana counter target spell. Make 2 1/1s.
Also, I like the Crystallized Hope because Nagui does make all your spells cost 1 more life to cast. So having that life gain is a solid
that's
decision.
I really like a Johnny Heart of Xena and Children of the Clouds. I think that's a really awesome interaction.
I do have some minor concerns about this deck performing if it doesn't have Nagui, or just your opponent has a way to answer it.
Actually, yeah, I have a question. So, what happens if you cast 3 cheers without Nagui? Like, assuming you're playing against them, like, what do you give them?
I'd probably give them Crystallize.
Depends on the situation, but
not great. But Crystallize is probably one of them. It's like one of the worst cards in the deck, but it's still pretty decent.
Cantrips, I guess.
I mean, it's anti-burn cards, right? Like this being in the main deck means like I feel like it was a metagame call.
But I think it'll pay out for them.
I think Crystallized Hope is just to counteract Nagui, making you lose life more than anything. Because if you do go like Nagui into 3 cheers, like Sinkhole, Portal Fracture, 3 cheers, and I mean that did cost you 4 life. And you are control deck, so that's not exactly free.
I mean, as all control players say, life is a resource. I think it's pretty sweet. And also, like the other thing that kind of hurts is not running. There's 5 basics in this deck, and because they're on Heart of Zadina, there are a lot of pain lands. Like most of these are pain lands. There's 1, 2, 3, and then Nebula.
Yeah.
But I guess you prioritize your basics, and then I don't even know. I'd probably figure it out if I goldfish this a couple times, but I'm sure there's a way to do it that you don't lose a whole lot of life.
It does become a bit rough just because like normal pain lands, the tougher colors, or you can pay for color mana. It doesn't quite work here just because of how Nagui makes all your cards cost only colored mana.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously you're on 4 Wayfarer Shrine, so you're getting your basics eventually. And so it will turn off fairly quickly. But yeah, it just hurts a little bit when your main value piece is also hurting you. But also Johnny gains life as well on uptick.
Yeah,
which is nice.
So I'm gonna give the deck.
Yeah, I like this deck a lot. I think it's pretty sweet.
So imagine you're playing against this deck and they turn three chairs at you. What do you do? Assuming like the game is the board's at parity for the first 2 turns.
I mean, you probably give them Crystallized Hope, 3 cheers, Children.
Okay, and then next turn they 3 cheers you again, I guess.
And you win because they just played 3 cheers twice in a row.
Okay, but what if they had Nagwe in hand and they play it on turn 4?
Then you kill the Nagwe.
Actually, a good point. Okay,
fine.
sure.
Now imagine getting to turn 4.
Nagwe is definitely a kill on sight in this deck. Definitely don't let them resolve anything when they have Nagwe in play.
Yeah.
Ideally, just don't let them have Nagwe in play.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
yeah, I definitely have
the issue there is that, like,
do that.
If they get to untap with Nagwe, they control you while you just don't. It basically gives you.
It's when it's resolving, not on cast. So you can still counter stuff.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's right. Reading the card explains the card.
Anyways, moving on. We have Skagra.
Yeah, I like this deck a lot.
We have Skagra on Bat Cantra Town, which has been nerfed, apparently.
Yeah, so this one last GP, the nerf was that Dialect Town is now a trigger when tasking mana. So that being relevant because previously, if you had Cantrip Bounty and Dialect Town, you just made infinite mana without passing priority. So that made the combo very resilient to removal. Now you can kill Cantra if they play it. I don't know how much it matters, just because of developing the Shaper also being pretty weak to removal, and that being what they are inspiring on. But yeah, this is a deck that Skagra has been playing for a while. I trust that it's relatively optimized. Won the last GP, obviously. Though, granted, I think it did play against like 4 mono red decks, which maybe doesn't have the best matchup.
Why is it against mono red again?
Well, Tranquil Moment is probably the best example of that. Well, I play against this deck, and my opponent has main deck Silence. So, Tranquil Moment's also relatively good against, say, Burn. Mono Red also just doesn't. At least those decks didn't have instant speed answers to Reshaper. And also, a lot of the ways that you can interact with this deck, and there's a lot of ways to interact with this deck, mind. Discard is pretty good against it. Like Valdez is always going to hit Cantra. Let's see, Counter Spell is also pretty good against it. Forces them to use Tranquil Moment to force through the combo. Grave Hate is also pretty good. Mia Gate is excellent against this deck because they can't really win. They need to side and Vanish to deal with Mia Gate. So, yeah. Also, it does have a kind of a cool 2-card combo with Tranquil Moment and Icecorn Wand to shut out combat steps entirely, which is also pretty cool.
Anyways, 4 Chili Peppers, because they already won with it, and I don't need to see it again.
I'll give it a 3.
If you're just running back the same list, you get like 2 max.
In that case, you should probably be giving my deck 2 max too, right?
No, your deck's cool.
I mean, mine should have like none because this is the only deck that I've ever played in a GP. It's just Grixis control every single time. I just change some parts.
You assume that I think about my ratings before I give them.
So maybe on Splash Cats on. Hey, Purple, do you recognize this deck?
I'm gonna lose my fucking mind.
Neon.
There's
so what are you gonna give this? What Chili Pepper rating are you gonna give this deck?
-2.
Sure, you can do that. What's the opposite of chilies? It's like mints, right?
So there's one change to this deck, and that being a Mia Gate in the sideboard, in addition to one main deck.
Holy crap! There's a change.
Yeah, I think they got
fine -1.
A bit. Let's just say they probably want to beat Dialect Town, because they did lose to Skagra in the finals of last GP.
Oh yeah, nobody commented that, so I don't actually know what happened.
But yeah, otherwise same kind of stuff. I think everything else is the same.
Yeah. And yeah, can you like go up can you go look up a mint emoji so you can use it instead of the negative chili peppers?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. So moving on, we have Zane's The Shadow of the Candle Looms Tall. So it's a Death Shadows deck, or at least the closest equivalent to Death Shadow in MSEM, which is Herald of Oblivion. Which is just bad Death Shadow because it doesn't update automatic, or it happens on ETB and doesn't update while it's in play.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, this seems.
This is I think that. Are you ready for a hot take? Herald of Oblivion is kind of better than Death Shadow because what it immediately does is have flying. That is so incredibly relevant.
Yeah, that's pretty insane.
Plus, you can get your life super low and then gain life and have a still big creature.
Yeah.
So,
but you can't play it preemptively and then shock yourself a bunch to kill your opponent, right?
I mean, you can't really play this card preempt. You can't play Death Shadow preemptively because you already have to have 13 or lower
like you play
life.
Death Shadow,
I understand
you
what you're
play at
saying,
12.
but like
it turns into
you
10
play at
next
12 and
turn.
then shock yourself. Yeah,
you don't.
Yeah, I see what you're going
especially
for.
in Modern, you don't typically play Death Shadow like super early because Lightning Bolt. So I don't know. We'll have to see how this works out.
Play
Yeah,
that much Modern anymore?
GDS comes in and out of
Grixis Death Shadow. I
liability.
played against. It's like an F&M deck now. It's not super like.
Yeah, it's fun.
heavy.
But it's not going to win any GPs.
So Hail Oblivion in this deck is of course the key card. They're playing a lot of stuff to reduce the life total, Cyveed, Engrave, and Provoke the Gods.
Which it's 4 mana, so I don't know how I feel about I don't know how I feel about a 4-mana spell that doesn't affect the board in aggro deck.
Well, okay, so Provoke the Gods is a really nasty combo card because it's 4 mana, but it's an instant, which is the important bit. Right. So you pay down to 1 life or whatever. You find Hail of Oblivion and Selvar's Defiance, and then you kill your opponent in the next turn.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's fucking insane. Like this is pretty cracked.
Huh.
And I don't know if it's necessarily appropriate to call this an aggro deck. I think it's more of a combo deck than anything.
Yeah, this is definitely combo. This is sweet.
You have like out of a modern experience, Engrave, Lalo, maybe similar thematically to like Skagra's list, where you kind of have a nice compact combo and a bunch of interactive spells. I do think that
I like this. I'll give this 4 chili peppers. This is sweet. I like this.
I do think
the more that I look at the list, the more I like it.
Maybe benefit from having a few more low life payoffs. So like, what are they called? Like Ink Summoner is a reasonably good card. Sukar is a reasonably good card. Just having a way to advance some kind of game plan without with Oblivion, in case your opponent does have like answers for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, if your opponent can't answer Hail of Oblivion, then this deck is probably really damn good.
Yeah, this is sweet. I like it a lot.
Also, cool thing about Nebula in this kind of list is that you can just pay $5 and
just pay for 5.
So you go like
you're at 15.
Turn 1 Nebula for $5, Engrave, you're at 11. Turn 2 Nebula for $5, you're at 6. Engrave, somehow, don't question it, you're at 2 Hail of Oblivion.
You died to Bolt? I guess you died to what's the Bolt in the form?
No Fear.
Yeah. I mean, if you're playing against the deck that you know doesn't have burn, then you can do that, I guess.
Yeah. Like it's probably fine against like the blue-green decks.
Additionally, against burn, you can Hail of Oblivion is just kind of good because they burn you.
Okay, cool. Thanks for doing this for me.
Burn you down, and you go turn 3 Hail of Oblivion, so Lost Defiance, you die.
Yeah.
How does burn deal with that?
Good question. Hope they don't have it, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sweet. I like that.
Oh, apparently this is not the right list. Oh.
Wait, what?
In Competitive Magic, they're mentioning that the list does not match what they submitted.
It's supposed to have Cragban Crusher.
It looks like Cragban Crush is the main change.
I mean, I see why you would want to do that, right?
Looks... I don't know what they cut. Oh, they cut Conspiracy Ravens. What?
I mean, I guess.
That makes sense.
Let me just remind myself what Cragban Crusher does.
It's a 17 mana thing that costs 1 less for each life you've lost.
That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, so if you have 5 life, then it costs red for 10/10 first strike menace trample.
Yeah, and then you Salva's Defiance, and then it kills it one-shot your opponent.
Seems decent.
Definitely worse than probably worse than Hail of Oblivion, but
oh, definitely.
It's still pretty scary. By pretty scary, I mean really scary.
Yeah.
And unlike Death Shadow, you can't kill it by healing your opponent, I guess.
Yeah, no, I do think that's interesting about Herald and whatchamacallit, the Crackerbound
Wait, the
Crusher.
deck list that is on the
Is
site
that-
is missing Crushers and is otherwise 56 cards. Wait, what? Is it actually 56 cards?
Oh wait, is it really?
No, it's Conspiracy Ravens, I believe.
Can you do a count?
20, 30, 34, 35. Yeah, it's 56. That's so funny. That is 56 cards in the main.
MFs be like 1, 2, 3.
Oh wait, am I just blind?
Yeah, you are just fine. It
Yeah.
has Conspiracy of Ravens in the deck.
I was looking for Conspiracy at the bottom. So yeah, just illegal deck lists. Oh, I'm going this to 0 because they are getting disqualified.
It's an illegal deck.
Yeah, DQ. You
DQ.
should just know what Lackey's going to do next time, stupid ass.
Exactly. Get good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't submit mana confluences because they become Darna's confluences. Are people still like making that mistake, submitting mana confluence even though that card's been removed from format?
Well, that only happened once when someone was
It happened
net
twice.
decking a really old. What happened twice?
Yeah.
I remember it happening once, and then Mountain Bighorn.
Mana Confluence used to be in the format? That's wild.
That is insane. That's hilarious. I love that.
Either got removed alongside a lot of the gold land nerfs. 5-color mana used to be really free.
I think it got removed because the combo decks were abusing it too much, right? Not because the non-combo decks were abusing it too much.
I don't actually. Wasn't that many decks playing Mana Confluence? It's mainly just like Infuse.
Yeah, like it got nerfed. It got removed during the Infuse nerf, right?
No, didn't get removed during the Gold Land nerf. Was it nerfed alongside
Someone go into MSEM news and look up the history.
Shujango Sanctuary?
No, Sanctuary got nerfed later. I remember the Mana Confluence got removed alongside the what's it called? The High Prairies nerf. Yeah,
I got replaced with Medivorce Tower, which is cool.
You know what I
Medivorce
want in
Tower's
this format?
a fun card.
And it'd be overpowered, but I want it. I want Lava Dart.
I want Force of Will.
Force of Will?
I want the Boros Razor, so I would have to play Off-Road Surveyors as a replacement for
Yeah.
Laga Recluse.
Purple. If you vote my set in, I'll make everyone's dreams come true.
Oh, I think that's
Something
what
tells
is that,
me
bribery?
Adventures in Amashus is not going to win the wildcard vote.
I don't think it's in the wild card.
What, you don't think they want Force of Will and Lava Dart and Arbor Graze?
Oh no, Adventures in Amashus was my first set, so it's pretty stinky. Hopefully I've made a better set with this new one, but we'll have to see. It's actually, I went through it multiple
up and
times
actually
and made sure
finish
there's
a
no
set.
errors. But knowing me, I probably missed something. Anyways, off topic.
It's the most fun.
Yeah, so that's all the decks, right?
Yeah, that was the last one. That was
So,
awesome.
Purple, do
We
you
got
have
22 people or 21 people this time.
Yeah, so Purple, do you have any things you want to say now that you're a new council member?
No.
Oh, okay.
As a new council member, can you legalize nuclear bombs? For me, just
No.
me. Not any. Oh. What
I
the fuck?
don't think
This is
so.
so sad.
Wait, so on your first day as a new council member, did you walk in and go, there's going to be some changes around here?
No.
Aw, that's disappointing.
I think you're overestimating what council members do here. We're not like this isn't the student council in anime or anything. No. We don't have more power than the president. Let's see, what decks did I miss? Styles deck is Zulong with kind of a bit of a rough mana base.
Yeah, bad Pale Blade,
Otherwise pretty solid.
and a lot of Fires of Renewals.
Then you have the very confusing mill deck.
I think it's a Chaos Draft deck that they add some cards to and then submit it for a GP.
Yeah, I'm not quite following what's going on here. CD Newlands on Scape Shift S thing, I think.
Let's see the world combo.
Yeah, so get up to some amount of lands, then see the world and win. Much like Scape Shift.
Yeah. Resolve one card.
Shumbeck's on Hate Bears, Crush Capsules is on Mirgate combo. Fun. So you play Mirgate and that's another kill on site card. You play Mirgate, then you play Tear the Veil and draw a number of cards equal number of permanents in play and make a bunch of mana.
Wait, that's why they're playing Tear the Veil?
Yeah.
I thought Mirror only cared about creatures.
Target's only one target. Yeah, Mirgate's really scary.
Okay, but like, why are they playing Azmont's Gambit?
I think it's just removal. I don't know.
But why Azmont's Gambit of all things?
No idea.
Okay.
It's
Not
not
just
bad
like
removal.
out of body experience. Just better.
Potentially, there might be a kill with it. Scarlet Mist. I think maybe the idea is that you Scarlet Mist, and that gives you a bunch of tokens, like you Scarlet Mist Raga.
Yeah, but
and then
if
you
made
add
it into
one's
copies of Deadeye
Gambit
or
with.
Logar, you already win.
Well, I guess feels really
I'm not.
iffy.
I'm not entirely following what they have as one's Gambit, but it might just be a way to kill after going to tear the veil. That's easy.
I guess.
So I guess you don't actually have haste or anything. But I guess you tear the veil, then you Scarlet Mist, and then you Asmon's Gambit. That maybe kills.
Hmm.
But I mean,
I
so
don't-
does just Glimmer with Legong, Mirror Plate, and like Rogar and Deadeye in play.
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with how easy that is to kill with. Because you're only getting 2 damage per Raga and Deadeye every Scarlet Mist. Whereas Azamon's Gambit maybe does more damage. I guess not really. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
But
know.
Azamon's Gambit's not that bad of a card. Does kill everything. You don't have that many options in Jeskai. Though something like Event Horizon would probably be better.
And that's everything, right? You already saw the Cyber's deck. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So does
Cool.
that mean we're ending the stream here?
I think so. That was fun. I
Okay.
enjoyed that.
Thanks for coming, guys.
That was fun.
Yeah, I'm glad I was able to join you.
And yeah,